What is up, YouTube? This is Ashley. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Y'all feeling all right? That kind of thing. Um, First of all, let me kind of give myself kudos for a minute. I'm kind of already ready for Halloween. Um, I just want to give out candy to the kids. I just want to be able to see all the kids in their random costumes and things of that nature. I want to be able to see them happy, just no issues. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of scary movies on Halloween. It's gonna be my first official end of the year holiday. The three consistent, not consistent, but well, they are consistent every year. The three main holidays, that are popular for everyone is Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So this will be the first of the three, and something that was always big in my house. So I'm really excited to give the kids some Halloween candy. Ask them what they are if if I'm not already able to see what they are for Halloween. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Okay. So story time. Follow me. First, let me go ahead and hopefully I can get you to follow me along with the story. I may talk too fast. Just tell me to calm down. Just send me like positive vibes so that I do just woosah me, okay? Just woosah me. So story time. If you want to know the beginning portion of the story, look at the other video. And also while you're at it, go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate it. You follow me, not follow me, Habit, Twitter, or TikTok. You subscribe, and I subscribe back. Okay, that's how this works. At least I do. You're not gonna get a bunch of fanciness. You're gonna get realness, real life situations. You know what I mean? Like, not saying the people that are on YouTube or have not gone through real life situations, but you're gonna get authenticity from me. Okay, everything that I have actually been going through. I want to use my story to encourage you or someone else, or maybe someone that needs this needs this encouragement, needs some uplifting. Okay, I want to be able to do that. So I'm not going to hopefully take up too much of your time, but I'm going to give you some story time. So yes. First of all, make sure you got your breakfast. I have this, but I also have some turkey bacon and hash browns coming through too. Gotta have a good breakfast first part of the morning. So, okay, let's see, story time. A lot of I'm still fresh into this, having lost my mom, and I know there are people that do know me personally. They're gonna be like, oh, she keeps talking about this and the other. But same reason why a woman would continuously talk about how she lost her child, or how she miscarried early, or how she fought breast cancer, or how she has 8, 9, 10 kids, and she's on TLC with her show in their daily lives. So I'm sharing my story because there are daughters out there, even sons, that have had to be put into my position. And I want to encourage someone that has been going through that or has went through that, and maybe they made it through. Maybe they're in the same place I am. Maybe they're even in a darker spot than I am. But I want to be of some assistance somehow, some way. So hopefully I can do that. Now, as stated in the last video, my mom, myself, and my younger sister, we all had COVID in early August, about to say early 2000s. Lord have mercy. And like this whole story I told you, she ended up getting it worse. We all caught it and everything like that. We were able to. Okay, so now I'm gonna pick up from us being able to see her officially on August 25th because she was in quarantine. They quarantined them in the hospital like 20 days, so we were not able to see her. And it was just weird. It was like, okay, we were always asking, like, when can we see our mom? When can we see our mom? And we were never able to do so. But I was calling, like I told you in the previous video, consistently, like 3 times a day, 3 or 4 times a day. Just how is she doing? Some days she would have fever. Some days she wouldn't. Some days they're saying she's doing fine. Some days she's not. She'd still be about the same. The more unique things that made me feel good. One day I was sitting here and I was eating, and I called in to check on her, and I asked. I said, "Well, can you, put her on the phone for me?" That's why I did that. I knew she wouldn't talk back, but I wanted her to know that I was present somehow, and I wanted her to hear my voice. Okay. So I was calling every day, and this particular day that I called, the nurse that was in there, saying, "Okay, I have the phone next to her ear, and hey, Mom, it's Ashley. I love you. I miss you. I need you to keep getting better for me, okay? They're saying you're doing, excuse me. They're saying that you're doing well today, and I need you to keep that progression up so that you can come home, And I was, giving her so much love and telling her I've been praying for her and telling her everybody from church has been praying for her and like that. And they telling her I was keeping everybody updated on Facebook because I don't want to tell everybody at the same time, or I want to tell everybody at the same time and not have to say it over and over and over again. Calling people gets annoying, especially when you're already going through it right then. So this particular day I called. I was saying all that, and the nurse was like, "Oh," and I'm like, I kind of froze. And I said, she opened her eyes, and I just started crying. I lost it. I'm like, she heard me. Like, it made me feel good to know that she heard me that one time. Or maybe, it's been a few times. I'm going to get into that. But she heard me this particular time and opened her eyes, and it oh my God. It meant so much to me. Sorry, like I told you, you're going to get authentic. You're going to get raw, okay? So that's what this is. Me being completely raw. And, whew, Lord have mercy. So I was very happy, and they were like, "Well, you'll be able to see her next week." And we were like, I was sitting there, I was like, "Wait, really?" And this entire time, I think this day that I called was on a Sunday, so we had to wait till that Wednesday, which would have been the 25th. So I'm like, okay, I can wait a few more days. I told my sister, like, guess what? Like, I called her after I got the phone with the hospital and talking to my mom. I called her and I'm like, Desi, guess what? We can go see Mama. And she's like, what? And we were excited. And I think both of us kind of were counting down till this day. Like, I was already not going to work, and I had started submitting for FMLA because I knew I needed to be at the hospital on a regular basis for whatever reason. I didn't know what I was going to be doing at that time, but I knew I needed to be there for my mama every single day. And it was even prior to, I needed to be available because the hospital was saying anytime, she could have good days, she could have bad days. So I had submitted, I think it was on the 20th for FMLA, because I'm like, okay, this is starting to get really real now. So I went from me having COVID to being on quarantine to then her being in a hospital on quarantine, but I had to be always 100% ready just in case the doctors needed me to be there. They were calling me for permission to do certain things. I had to be available. Anyway, so on the 20th when we went to go see her, we were so excited. We got to the hospital. We went to the wrong floor. And then they told us, okay, just wait here. When we bring her up, we'll come and get you. And we waited out in the lobby. We were both like literally just chomping at the bit. Like I was probably eating through my nails, which was not on purpose at all. And I think my sister was nervous too, which of course we would be. Anybody would be. It was definitely interesting to say the least. So long story short, well, not long story short, because this is gonna be a really long story. So we were sitting out in the hallway, and they come and get us about maybe 30 minutes after us getting there, and they're like, you can come back now. And they're like, we go to the front counter, we say her name, and they give us these little sticker things to give us permission to go back there. And we get back there to her room, and they're like, well, we need you to put this on. It's these little, I'll show some pictures of that portion. Anyway, with us putting these gowns on, we had to wear gloves, and of course our masks. And we were finally able to see her, and at that moment, I was first laying eyes on her. I couldn't cry because I knew what to expect because we saw it prior to her having to be on hospital quarantine. So we knew what to expect, and she just laid there, and she really looked mostly asleep. Like, yes, she was medicated. Yes, she was on a vent, and she just looked mostly just relaxed. She looked mostly relaxed. And my mom, she had knee pain, she had shoulder pain, she had back pain. She had just had Achilles surgery last year. Um, Earlier this year was discussing having either knee surgery or double knee surgery. So this was the first time in a long time that my mom looked the most at peace, and I had to take that. I had to receive what that message gave me. That message gave me that for once she had no pain. She was so medicated she didn't have a pain to feel, and I had to accept that. Um, so me and my sister, we took either side of her on the bed, and we were holding her hand, and we just wanted to feel her hand, feel her warmth, the warmth of her hand. And there's something about a mother's hands. Y'all know a mother's hands can do so much when you need it the most, and even when you don't, or maybe you may even not even admit that you need it, but it's something about a mother's hands, whether it's to a child or a grown up, and you're grown, whatever. Your mother's hands give you this sense of peace. They give you this sense of clarity that you might not have known. Hold on, my bacon. Hold on. Yep, I burnt my food. They give that's destroyed. They give you this sense of clarity that you might not have known that you needed. And clearly we needed it. And oh shoot. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm making breakfast. Making myself breakfast before work today. So like I said, you're gonna get authentic. I'm gonna give you the full real, okay? Not no fancy house, not no fancy car. I have a nice car, I have a nice house. I'll take that. It ain't gotta be all extravagant. No, I'm gonna give you the raw. But anyway, so my nose. Ooh, they cut grass and it just bothers me right now, so it's itchy. So yeah, we see her. You know, we're happy about seeing her and everything. We're at peace with this. We're trying to talk to her mom and this and the other. And this first day of seeing her, she did not open her eyes again for us. So we were a little disappointed, but we knew, like I said, what to expect. So by the time we do see her again, which is the next day, the 27th, 26th, we're in there talking to her and everything, and you can kind of see her crack her eyes a little bit. And she didn't blink or nothing. She just kind of looked at my sister. And when I came around that side, she looked at me, and it just felt good to just see her eyes open. You could tell she was still sedated, but it felt good to see her eyes open for us. She was just in and out of sleep. Just in and out of sleep. So that felt good to be able to see her those 2 days with her eyes open. A couple other days, they were not. She was, in good sleep. And by that weekend, I went to go see her by myself. And I was talking to her, and her eyes open. And I was like, Mom. And she looked at me and said, can you tell me you love me and just blink for me? And she calmly blinked. And I'm on the phone with Desi. I said she opened her eyes for me again. She blinked. I told her to blink to tell me she loved me, and she did. And I put Desi on speakerphone, and she started talking to her. And I said, Mama, can you blink again so I can tell Desi you love her too? And she blinked again on cue. And the doctor tried to ruin my whole thing. So I was on, it was a medication. She did it on cue. Like, you just want to keep shooting everything she's doing down. I'll get on them later. But yeah, so, and when I was up there, they were saying, we would like to do a trach, but her transition from the COVID ICU to the main hospital ICU was a little rough, and she would need to at least be able to hold her own for breathing at least 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, what do we need to do? And if we can get her to do that, we can do the trach. We'll be able to wake her up. I said, okay, let's do that. And the next day, me and my sister debated on it for a day. And the next day, which will be the 27th, 28th, we went back. And they were saying that they were not going to be able to do that because they had to take her ventilator to 100%. And her PEEP, I think they did at least take that down to like 70. I'm like, okay, so we can't do the trach right now. And that's what I was so pushing for, because I wanted her to be able to be awake. I wanted her to be able to be alert. And that was not possible. That did not happen. So this is the 20th. So every day, 27th, 28th, 29th, were all pretty much normal days. 30th, it got a little rough. That's when her blood pressure started to decline more. Um, and it was not able to keep it up, and her sugar was going down. And then they started talking about her blood becoming acidic, and her kidneys were starting to not do what they were supposed to do, and her liver was not doing what it's supposed to do. And so the discussion of a um, dialysis machine to help get the acidic blood out and kind of clean it, to get the clean blood in, to kind of give her a better chance. Okay, about later that night, it was about maybe nope, I'm not even gonna say that, about 2 o'clock. One of the nurses came to me and was like, okay, if we're gonna do it, we got an open window to do it. She looked at the blood pressure machine. She was able to keep herself stable, and she's like, we're gonna do it, let's do it. And I said, you know what, let's do it, let's do it now. They wrote me the paperwork, I signed, let's do the dialysis. Okay, so that was going into Monday. That was that Sunday. What is the date? That Sunday going into Monday. So, and they were like, well, if we do that, she's not gonna last the night. I'm like, you don't know my mama. Like, yes, she will. Yes, she will. I know she will. And I stayed with her that Monday night after we did the dialysis machine, and she made it all the way through to Tuesday. She was still fine, but they were saying that they couldn't take no more blood out because it was making her blood pressure drop, or couldn't do the flushing of the liquids and everything because it was taking time to make her blood pressure drop. And they kept giving her dextrose to keep her sugar up, which was helping her blood pressure as well. So I was like, okay. So all Tuesday was really playing it by ear. Blood was still acidic. Her organs were starting to shut down more. We were just really numb. Just really like, oh my God, like, no, mama, keep fighting, please. And it got to this point, Tuesday going into Wednesday, that we really had to accept it. We didn't want to think of it. We didn't want to think of losing her. But we had to get to this point where we had to accept it. And Wednesday was officially September 1st, this morning. And like I said, I've been spending the night. I have been here. I've been there. I hadn't moved. Everything. Like the 5 doctors that I seen, I only saw one after Monday, that Monday before she passed, and I ain't seen no more after. They kept telling me, oh, she's very sick. They kept wanting me to pull the plug on her prior to. I'm not doing that either. If she's going to go, she'll tell me when she's ready to go. And that's what I told every single doctor. Like, I'm not going to just end her right now just because you think and feel that she should. She'll tell me when she's ready. And on Wednesday morning, the 1st, I felt off. I felt off but yet relaxed, which was really, really weird considering the situation. And it got to this point where I was like, okay, what's going to happen now? And she lasted all day. She was fine. I felt like she was gripping my hand for a minute, too. I felt like she was kind of preparing herself and me and my sister for her going. And we knew it was coming. We just didn't know how to accept it or how to prepare. So all day, we saw her. My uncle came through. He came and saw her. And we were just so outdone. About 8:30, they were like, like not 8:30, but earlier that day they were saying, it's gonna happen. And the girl was like, I don't want to mess with your gut feeling, but I feel like it's gonna happen today too. I'm like, okay, because that's what I said. I said I feel like it's gonna happen today. So we were all there, everything, and about 8:30 at night, I had my hand on her heart. Her machine was going down. It was counting down, and my sister had walked out the room for a second. She's like, I need to get something to drink. So she walked out the room for a second, and we were just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like the machine was starting to go down. We were just frantically trying to reach my sister, like, okay, get back here now, like ASAP now. And then I heard my sister running down the hallway. She gets there. She's like, Mom, I'm here. And I'm telling my mom, please, wait. And I think within that time, my mama did wait, and she let it be to where her girls were there with her, holding her hand. And I told her in her ear, I said, I love you. I said, when it's my time, I'm going to see you, and I'm going to run to you. I'm going to run to my mama. And I had my hand on her heart. And that last little heartbeat felt like a wave, and we had this thing where we used to wave in the house. So that was her I think that was her cue. She took her last breath and she said goodbye. I'll be back.